Good morning, good morning. It's a beautiful day. Let's all stand up and do the congregational song. Let's get this day started.
I see joy, I see peace, I see goodness surrounding me. I see love in everything I see. I see God in everything. I see happiness, I see freedom. I see beauty that lives in me. I see perfection in what life brings. I see God in everything. I feel joy, I feel peace. I feel goodness surrounding me. I feel love in every breath I breathe. I see God in everything. I feel happiness, I feel freedom. I feel the beauty that lives in me. I feel perfection in what life brings. I feel God in everything. I know peace. I know goodness surrounding me. I know love in every breath I breathe. I know God's in everything. Happiness, I feel freedom. I know beauty that lives in me. I know perfection in what life brings. I know God in everything. I know God's in everything. I know God in everything.
Yes. Let's give it up for everyone. Good job. Yes. Knowing it is the best day ever. I am Valerie Reeves. I'm staff minister here, and it is a beautiful day. We have Dennis Bryan in the house. Thank you so much for leading the music. Woo! And of course, we have the amazing Andy here. And a very special guest, we have Reverend Kusala here. So, woo! We got some really great goodness happening. So I do want to say welcome to the Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living, where we are transforming lives, building dreams, and revealing love. Where all we ask is that you stay completely open to changing your life by changing your mind. Welcome home. So glad you're here. Good to see you all. Isn't it great? I was thinking about with this song, which words I didn't know by heart, when I was thinking about the perfection in everything, and do we see the perfection in ourselves? I am knowing that we do. That this is the best day ever, that we just recognize that. Yeah. If you are here for the first time, a very special welcome to you. I know that one of our friends here will give you a welcome packet. We do hospitality after service in Richelieu Hall, so help yourself some coffee and some goodies afterwards. And we have some special announcements about everything else that's happening after service today. So our amazing board president, Katie Frankel, is going to work with me on this.
Thanks so much, Valerie.
It's happening.
Is it happening? All right. First, we'd like to start off with gratitude. A big thank you to Claudia Krikorian and Jim Hale for hosting an incredible, amazing, divine dining at their home last weekend. Music, delicious food, and some spontaneous voices. It was just a beautiful night. We all had a great time. Thank you.
And there was dancing happening. It was fantastic. And we do have other events happening. So also for the next 2 weeks, we're collecting donations for back to school supplies, such as backpacks, glue sticks, crayons, you name it that a kid could use in school. Bring those. That would be great. Please see Maureen McKinney, who runs our teens. She is helping coordinate this. Okay.
Next up, let's please welcome up Bill Salem to talk about his presentation and book signing today. It's going to be here in the sanctuary at 12:30. His memoir is titled From Cairo to California. Welcome, Bill.
Thank you, Katie. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to imagine with me this young boy at the age of 15 taken out of school every afternoon to go for military training. 4 hours a day, 6 days a week. A few years later, he comes to the United States as a refugee, escapee under parole. In less than 2 years, he gets his orders to go in the army. His father gets a heart attack. I cry. Why me? Why me? 7 brothers and cousins, all male, came within that 2-year period. I was the chosen one. Why me? And then, 20 years later, when my whole life was way down, nothing was working, I asked a cousin of mine who worked at the Church of Religious Science on 6th and Burendo. I said, I need to listen to a message. Please help me. She gave me 2 places to go. One Huntington Beach, one Redondo Beach. As an engineer, I take my map, I route everything. I'm going to Huntington Beach. I go on the 405 freeway. I drive on the 405 freeway from West Los Angeles. And all of a sudden, I find myself taking the Rosecrans exit. And that is to go to Huntington Beach. And without any special route, I find myself in this parking lot of this church. It was fully booked. I go around twice, no place to park. And just as I finish my second round, a car pulls out right in front of the door. I pull right in. I come here, I go down the aisle, and I sit in this first chair. And here comes a gentleman with a navy blue suit, white shirt, red tie, and gives us the message. I open a door before you that no one can close. Your life clicks in 86. That was December 29, 1985. And in that chair right here, for 5 years straight, I never missed a Sunday. I went to all the Wednesday classes. When I missed 2 of them, I had to go and listen to the tapes so that I can catch up. Those 5 years changed my life forever. And you will know about it if you join me at 12:30 here in the sanctuary. And I will be happy to share with you my life. It is not a movie, I can tell you that. It's not about a story. It is a true story. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Coming up this week, y'all, Tuesday, we're grateful that our garden club is meeting after the book study. Please sign up in the lobby to join them. Thursday, August 3rd, from 2 to 3:30 p.m. is our spiritual discussion group in the foyer. Also, on August 3rd, after the spiritual discussion group, is our Labyrinth Walk from 3:30 to 5 p.m. in Richelieu Hall. Reverend Kathy Sinfield will give us the guided meditation.
Thank you. That is such a fun and amazing thing. I've done the Labyrinth several times. It's so great. It's so inspiring. So join us for that. And then next Saturday, Reverend Mary's 4th class on the book, Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting, The Astonishing Power of Feelings. That is happening next Saturday, August 5th at 10 a.m.
And then after that Sunday, August 6th, it's going to be movie day. Please join Reverend Valerie Reeves for movie and discussion after our service in Richelieu Hall. Popcorn is included, and the movie is What the Bleep Do We Know? It's free, it's fun. Please join us next week.
Yes, and if you've been in any of the Science Mind study groups, you've heard us talk about What the Bleep, or heard me talk about it. It's an amazing movie that came out many years ago, but it's so, so great on quantum physics and all the things that we're learning now. And then the following Monday, on August 7th, the men's group is meeting at 7 p.m. in the foyer. And also excited to tell you about the Hidden Treasures yard sale, which begins September 15th.
And we're looking for donations. We're looking for books, clean, wearable clothes, toys, and working electronics. Don't be giving us that crappy Keurig, okay? We want working electronics. We'll start to accept all of your donations on Wednesday, August 16th. More information and volunteer sign-up sheets are in the activity table in the lobby.
Yep.
Right out there.
Out in the lobby, there's lots of stuff. There's also 2 new Divine Dining events that are coming in August. Bid sheets in the lobby for a high tea and sculpting lesson, which is amazing, and for a King Harbor cruise and barbecue. See Dan Brenner. He is going to be in the lobby today giving information about that.
And a big thank you to all of our wonderful volunteers. We appreciate you so much. We're always looking for new volunteers. If you're interested, please see the lovely Doris at the front desk or anyone else. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Announcements. Woo! Yes, thanks, Katie. All right, now that we know everything that's going on, we are going to get centered into this wonderful space so that we can be fully present. So Dennis Bryan is going to lead us in some music to take us to that meditative space. Thank you.
I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. Yes, join me. You're here to remind me of my magnificence, to help me awake to all the wonder that you are. You long to show me all the joy I'm worthy of. You're here to remind me how much I'm truly loved.
And so let's go inside our heart of hearts, breathing in the fullness of life, and just letting go of anything that takes us away from this space right here, right now, knowing that there is one divine power, one mind, one magnificence that flows in, as, and through each and every one of us, through our hearts, our souls, our minds. It is the I am that we are beautifully and brilliantly, that we just marinate in that knowingness that God is all there is. Love, right here, right now, flows with ease and grace as I speak my word and claim for each and every person here that there is a beautiful revealing, a healing, a knowingness that all is divine and all is right in the world, that life is good and life is very good, that everything in this day moves us to the next level in life, that we just stay open to the words, to the music, to the love, to the magnificence of this moment, knowing that everything has led us to right here, right now, that we just let go of all of the past and step into the brilliance of right here, right now. As we go to gratitude, I am so grateful for each and every thing that got me to this moment, knowing that every step is the next step. Higher and higher to that beautiful vibration that is right here. And in gratitude for this beautiful day, this wonderful collection of all of our wonderful uniqueness, I just release my word into the universal action of the law, knowing all is well. And so it is. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. I am also doing the inspiration, so we are inspired. And as I was watching Andy play, I was thinking of a line that Doris always uses when she's happy with something she's done, where she says she's bathing in her awesomeness. I'm like, you should just be bathing in your awesomeness there, Andy. It's awesome. Yes. So Reverend Kusala today is going to be talking about gratitude. And so I was thinking about gratitude. And I was also thinking about my experience in the monk world. Yeah, so about 10 years ago, my youngest son, I call him my little Buddha, actually. He walks on water, and he's all that. He was up at the yoga retreat center, Mount Madonna, in the Santa Cruz Mountains. And he called me one day and said, hey, I know you got a couple months off. Could you come up and run the bookstore up here? And I'm like, oh, heck yeah, let's do it. So I went up there, bookstore, coffee shop. What else do you need? Some books and coffee? I am set. So they had a lot of great retreats, a lot of great speakers up there. And a mile away was a Vietnamese monk retreat space. And they had a big retreat. And many of them came in to get coffee, tea, chai, whatever it was that we had available, and have some great conversations. And one of them said, come on over, we're having lunch tomorrow, you should come on over. It's just a $10 donation, come. I'm like, yeah, let's do it, something fun, something different. So here I have a loud red scarf on, I have got some red highlights in my hair, I am loud energy. And I go walking into this place, and there's a sea of bald heads and robes. Do you ever walk into something and wish you could just kind of back out? Because my energy was so loud, it's like, oh, even if you didn't hear me, you had to feel that energy. So I walk in and I just stand there for a second like I don't even know what to do. Somebody came over and said, please join us for lunch. And I went and got some lunch and I sat down. And they ate in silence. It was the most touching thing I've ever seen, because I come from a loud family and everybody's talking. And here they were eating in silence, embracing the food, and it touched me to my core. I just started weeping, because it's like, oh, this is just so beautiful. And then they would clean their dishes right there at the table. And then somebody got up and started speaking in Vietnamese, and then he pointed to me, and said something in Vietnamese, and I said, I don't know. And everybody laughed. And he said, you are very welcome to be here. So it was just so wonderful. They did some music after that, and it was just a wonderful experience. And I thought, how amazing to go through life being so conscious in the moment and so much in gratitude in the moment. And it's easy for me, you know how you have a memory that you can just go back to, and you're right there, back in that story? And I can go right back to that space of eating in silence, being in that space of gratitude. And it anchors me to a space that I absolutely love. And I know we all have a story like that, somewhere where we were in such a beautiful space and in so much gratitude. We can recreate that, and we can attach ourselves to the memory and go right back there. Because it's beautiful to stay in that space of gratitude. And gratitude gets more gratitude and gets more things. Because don't you want to just give stuff to somebody who's so grateful for something? That's the same with the universe. The universe just wants to give us all the glory, especially when we're in that space of gratitude. So I am in this gratitude space for each and every one of you, knowing that it is the best day ever. Yes. Yes. And speaking of the best day ever, we have the amazing Dennis Bryan in the house. Let's welcome him up for some beautiful music. Thanks, Dennis.
Thank you very much. Welcome. I'm glad to be here. It's such a warm community and loving people here, and it just makes me feel great. So thanks for having me again. When I close my eyes, I see all that life can be, 'cause it's already there, it's already shared in spirit. When I choose to clear my mind of all the weight of outside, and one becomes all, collective and tall between us. 'Cause there is strength in numbers, there is faith that answers now. If we make our voices heard by ourselves, we will find there is love, there is joy, there is peace. There's a choice to change our thoughts. We can create. When I quiet all my doubts, the truth of life comes out, 'cause it's already there, it's already shared in the oneness. 'Cause there is strength in numbers, there is faith that answers now. If we make our voices heard by ourselves, we will find there is love, there is joy, there is peace. There's a choice to change our thoughts. We can create sight when we are blind, and light when roads are dark, and all that we decide now. There is love, there is joy, there is peace. There's a choice to change our thoughts. We can create change. Thank you. Thank you very much. Andy, fantastic.
Wow, I love that. I love your voice. It is so soothing, peaceful. Yes, I'm hearing the words already. It's all of that. Bathe in your awesomeness. Let's give him some more love. Thank you, Dennis Bryan. Love it. Thank you so much. Yes. What's that? Oh, you wrote that song? Woo! Oh, wow. Oh, blessings. Amazing. I love it. After Foundations, first class, yes. Oh, your Science of Mind end class project, I love that. Wow, wow. That is awesome, thank you so much. All right, next up, I am so excited to get to introduce our speaker today. And he said, don't say too much, we'll keep the expectations where it's like, the energy, because I kept hearing from everyone else, oh, you're gonna love him so much. And I do, I feel like we're kindred spirits. So I heard he also rides a Harley. I heard some stuff about taking care of all these cats and has been everywhere and done so many things. So I know that we are all so in this gratitude space to welcome the amazing Reverend Kusala to the stage.
Okay, the mic is working. So I'm happy to be here today. It's good to be any place, but here especially. And the talk I'm going to give is on gratitude. And you know what? I didn't have any for a really long time. So a couple years ago, UCLA Oral History Library was doing a series on Buddhism in Los Angeles. And they contacted me and asked me if I'd be willing to be one of the interviewers or interviewees about Buddhism in Los Angeles. I had been at UCLA for 10, 11 years as a Buddhist chaplain for the University Religious Conference. And I said, sure, I'd be happy to. So it was like 6, 7 hours of interviews, long time. And I didn't really know what to expect because nobody ever wanted to interview me for 6 or 7 hours. So we were talking, and then around the second or third day, he said to me, what are you grateful for? And I said, I don't know. Should I be grateful? Didn't I do it all myself? Wasn't it all because of me? And he looked at me in sort of a quizzical way, like, what's wrong with this guy? So I went and thought about it. And son of a gun, I was one of the contributing factors to everything that happened in my life. But there were 999 other factors that went into it as well. So I couldn't really say it was about me or for me. And then I thought back and said, well, what or who am I grateful to? And the first person that came to mind was Houston Smith. This guy was a trip. If you read his life story, what a life he had. And I got to meet him in person at UCLA. And at that point, he was this little old man. He had had a hip replacement, I think, or a knee replacement, so he didn't walk very well. But his eyes were like 18 years old, and they just glowed. He was so happy. And I went up to him and said, you know what? You're the reason that I'm a Buddhist today. I read your book, Religions of the World. And I read the chapter on Buddhism, and it made so much sense to me that I said, I got to become a Buddhist. So it wasn't too inspirational about me becoming a Buddhist, but he was a key component of me wanting to be a Buddhist. So I got the yellow pages out, Remember those? And I found a meditation center, which is where I now live. And so they said free instruction on how to meditate. And I said, okay. It was a cold and rainy night. I was able to find parking, which today you can't. And I went in not knowing what to expect, which is the story of my life. And I was told to sit in the corner. Here's a cushion. Cross your legs. We're going to have 15 minutes, 5-minute break, 15 minutes, 5-minute break, 15 minutes. And then Shinzen will come down and give a Dharma talk. And I said, Shinzen is going to come down and give a Dharma talk? What's Dharma? Well, I sat there. It was terrible. My knees hurt. My back hurt. They didn't have the heat on. It was cold. I'm thinking, this is meditation? And then Shinzen came down. And Shinzen was this nice Jewish guy from LA who went to Japan and became ordained as a Shingon monk while he was studying Japanese. And then he came back and he was living at this meditation center, and he was the vice abbot. So I'm going to listen to this Jewish guy from LA who went to Japan talking about Buddhism. And you know what? How lucky was I that that was the case? Because he sort of looked like me. I sort of looked like him. English was his first language. He knew how to explain things that I had no idea even existed. And I said to myself, I want to see the world the way he does. If I have to meditate, if I have to suffer for an hour, I'll do it. Because the way he perceives reality is so different from the way I perceive reality. So I was there for a couple years with Shinzen, and then I said to Shinzen, you know what, I would like to study with an Asian monk, someone who was born in a Buddhist country, to get that perspective. And he said, oh, right down the street, Crenshaw Boulevard. There's a guy named Dr. Ratnasara, and he has a class, and you could sit in with him. And he became a monk at 14. And now he's in his 60s, and he knows a lot of stuff, and he speaks really good English. And so I said, okay, thank you, Shinzen. So Dr. Ratnasara gave an Asian perspective to my experience of Buddhism in Los Angeles. And I learned so much, not necessarily from what he said, but what he did. How do monks act? How do monks talk? How do they react? How do they respond? And you can't get that from a book. You got to be in the presence of a monk or a nun in order to sort of feel what it's like to be them in your way of looking at it. So I studied with him for quite a while, and he said to me, have you ever thought about becoming a monk? I said, well, no, not really. Doesn't that mean you can't have sex anymore? He said, yeah, but there's more to life than that. I said, really? It was sort of a hard sell. But after thinking about it, I asked him, well, if I become a monk and don't like it, can I give it back? Can I give back the ordination? He said, sure. He said, you don't have to stay a monk your whole life. You could just be a monk for 3 months or a year or 2 years. Try it out. Try it on for size. See how it feels. I said, okay. So 1994, I became a novice monk. 1996, I became a fully ordained monk. And I lived at the meditation center. I have a room. I got health insurance. And I did a lot of stuff. Community service for 20 years. I was answering the phone, and they would say, Kusala, could you help us out? We got some people at this prison who are Buddhists, and it'd be so nice if you could come up and talk to them. And my response was, you have Buddhists in prison? How can that be? Everything I've read about Buddhism didn't lead me to believe that we would ever end up in prison, and yes, we do. So I did prison volunteer work, I did Central Juvenile Hall volunteer work, I did hospital volunteer work, I did police department volunteer work. I did like a lot of volunteer work as a monk, and probably because I look like this, and people could relate to that. Sort of a big guy, didn't seem too smart right away. We can get along with him, you know. So I have to say that as I go back to this gratitude thing, these people were key in me having the lifestyle that I have today. Then there was this guy named Jeff Gold. Well, I met Jeff Gold at a Dharma talk. And Jeff Gold was a record producer and executive. He was one of the first employees of Rhino Records in Westwood Village. And we sort of hit it off. And he said to me, Kusala, you need a computer, man. I says, I need a computer? Why? He says, because you have a lot of information that other people would find interesting and may be useful, and you could have your own web page on the internet. I said, internet? Web page? He said, yeah, no, it's the thing now. Everybody's got one, and you have stuff to offer. I will do this for you. I will buy you a computer, but you're going to have to pay me back. But you can take as long as you want to pay me back. So I said, well, okay, that sounds good. So I got a computer, Apple computer, that little sort of foam green one that looked like a TV set. And I said to myself, you know what, Jeff? The computer is sort of cool. There's like a lot of people inside talking to me. And I'm going, I didn't think that would happen. Not realizing it was programmed and there was instructions and it was video and audio and all that kind of stuff. So I paid him back in less than a year, and that computer changed my life. Not only did it change the way I thought, because now I've got a bunch of folders in my head instead of brain cells, but it allowed me to extend my talks at a global level. I could talk to people anywhere in the world if they had a computer. So I put my first page up. I had a picture of myself. I had my address. And I was so proud. Look at this. Look what I did. It's a picture of me on the internet. Well, nobody ever found that or saw that or commented on that. But it was the way I had a chance to sort of practice. Because when you're a monk, you sometimes have a lot of extra time, and I would just practice making stuff. So now I have urbandharma.org, 1,500 pages, visited every day by a bunch of people. How cool is that? I have my own YouTube channel, Kusala's Urban Dharma. Wow, how is that going? It's going pretty good. I've got a podcast, Kusala's Urban Dharma Podcast. A lot of people going there, listening to what I have to say. How cool is that? Changed my life completely. I'm out there just doing all sorts of stuff in a virtual way. And you know what? When it's a virtual way and you're doing it in your room at the meditation center, you don't even have to smell good. You're just doing it. Man. So Jeff Gold really made a big difference in my life. He didn't realize what it would turn out to be. But I look back and I go, I am so grateful to Jeff Gold. Then there's Reverend Karuna Dharma. This is a woman who used to be a school teacher who went to UCLA, took a class from Dr. Thich Thien Nhat on Buddhism, became a Buddhist nun. When Dr. Thich Thien Nhat died, she took over running the meditation center. She's the one that said to me after my ordination, we'd like you to work for us. really, what am I going to do? She said, you can quit your job, and we're going to make you residential manager. You get to find people to live here and pay rent. And the rent they pay will allow us to pay for the mortgage and insurance and maintenance and all the other stuff. And it's so much fun. I go, well, if it's fun, okay. It's no fun at all. It's a big pain to interview people, try to see if they'd fit into the meditation center. Living in 5 old houses built around 1910, sharing bathrooms and kitchens. Okay, who gets to buy the toilet paper this month? Nobody's hand goes up. Oh, man, no. Okay, who didn't clean up the dishes? Nobody admits to that. Oh, man, no. You're not paying your rent. I can't afford it. It's $400. You can't afford it. I can't afford it. Oh, man, what am I going to do now? So I learned a lot about me and human beings and how difficult it is to live with each other. And it's just as difficult if you're family, because family, you sort of have to live together. This is sort of, well, we're going to live together. And it still doesn't work very well. So at one point I thought, maybe I'll just live on a lake, a little cottage, all alone. And then Shinzen contacted me after he heard me talking that way and said, no, man, we need you in LA. This is where all the suffering happens. You can't go to the lake. There's not enough suffering at the lake. You won't learn anything. Okay. So I've been at the meditation center for 30 years now. Downtown Los Angeles, Koreatown. Oh, man. Does it ever get better? No, it doesn't get better. You just get used to it. Oh, well. And then one other thing I am grateful for are all the people that don't like me, don't understand me, don't want to be around me. Those people allow me to know I still have a few imperfections to work on. Because if everybody loves you and likes you, you just think I'm perfect. You'll never be perfect. Maybe when you're enlightened, you'll be perfect, but nobody will notice the perfection. You know? So I'm grateful that I'm not perfect, because it allows me to work on stuff, and that stuff being me. And I tell you what, during the COVID thing, man, 2 years, watching YouTube channel every day, it's just you watching the YouTube channel. And then you start thinking about this stuff, and you start wondering if this will ever end. And if you do the wrong thing at the wrong time, will I die? I mean, there was like a lot of stuff, this COVID thing. And now we're sort of past that, and we're all trying to go back to normal. And we don't have the old normal to go back to. It died. We have the new normal to go to. And a lot of people are resisting the new normal because it doesn't feel familiar. But you know what? It always changes all the time. It never feels familiar. Every day is the first day of your life. Every day is the best day of your life. And so you have to recognize that. You got to wake up to this present moment experience of your life and say, wow, this is really good. I'm still breathing and thinking and talking, you know? And that first cup of coffee in the morning, it still tastes wonderful. And then you go on your YouTube channel and you go, wow, look at all the people that visited me over the night. Cool. And how about that Facebook channel, Kusala? You've been on Facebook now since 2008. You have 35,000 followers and friends. Really? I've never met any of them. Wow. So this stuff is good. This thing called gratitude, what it seems to do, what I have come to understand, is that it allows you to experience the interconnectedness and interdependence of all phenomena in your life. Now, that's a long sentence, but interdependence means that we are always connected and we are always interconnected with everything. We can never stand apart from that. It's never been about us, even though that's what we think and that's how it feels. And it doesn't seem that we're a process. It seems we're more of an event. Yes, I'm an event. But then when you start reflecting, you realize that no, you're just a process, man. You're just a river. You know, and you just keep flowing. And this happens, and that happens, and this happens, and you can't even take credit for the good, and you shouldn't take credit for the bad, because it really isn't about you. It's just circumstances and this interdependence thing that has come together, and that's why this is happening. You go, okay, the burden slowly gets lifted. The burden slowly gets lifted. About having to be the center of your universe. Because now everybody is working with you. Optimism, working against you, not so optimistic. Or we're just all working. And who knows if it's for or against? You don't know, because it never ends. It never comes to fruition. There's no end game. There's no end game. That's the scary part about the spiritual path, is you don't ever get to the end. It's only the journey. Just always walking that journey. It's walking here, walking there, walking here. Somebody once said, I think it was Stephen Wright, the comedian, he says, every place is in walking distance if you have the time. And that's how the spiritual journey feels to me. Everything is in walking distance if I find the time. And thankfully, I've had a number of people in my life who have encouraged me to go in this direction and discouraged me from going in that direction. And now when I look back, I say to myself, you know what? Life was pretty good. Life was pretty good. And as I get older and older, I want to do less and less. And then one day, I'll just be doing nothing. And I'll say, I finally reached perfection. Now, thank you all for listening. I brought my harmonica today, and I asked Andy if he would accompany me. And Andy said yes, he would. And so we're going to do a little blues today. And I asked Andy, I said, should we rehearse a little bit? He said, no. That'll ruin it, man. You can't rehearse the blues. You just got to play them. So we're going to play them. We're going to play them. Pardon?
I said I'll meet you there.
Okay. He's going to meet me at the crossroads. Robert Johnson. There we go. All right.
I want to thank. Is it Reverend Kusala? Is it Reverend? Okay, I want to thank him for that talk. And I talked to him last time I was here. He was here, and I have gratitude for talking to you and having you mix up my head about everything. So I want to thank you for that because it makes you know that you still need, to move on and to learn and to keep going. And so I appreciate that. I'm going to tell a really quick story about this song I also wrote. It was my first experience going to Asilomar. Everybody remember Asilomar? They used to have the retreats, and I went the very first time. I was so excited. And I was fairly new to the philosophy, too, and there was all this beautiful, peaceful meditation, beautiful surroundings, quiet, inner reflection and everything. And so what was so weird is what came out of this was this song that says, put the pedal to the metal with the gear shift set on God. So that's what came of it. And I just thought that was quite ironic. Yeah, let's get this going. And I know you guys like to dance, you like to clap and sing. And so whatever you like to do, I welcome that. And it's a little bit of an audience participation song. So I say love, you say love. I say peace, you say peace. I say God, and you say God. Got it. Let's do it. Ready? And it's love, love that you're feeling, love, love that you're dreaming of, love that created us. Let's do that again. And it's love, love that you're feeling, love, love that you're dreaming of, love that created us. And it's 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get it ready, you can let it go. You got to get dialed in, you got to get revved up, you get dialed in. You got to get dialed in, you got to get revved up. So put the pedal to the metal with the gear shift set on God. And I got my friend Leslie here helping me out. Let's give her a hand. Here we go. And it's peace that you're feeling, peace that believes in peace that can set us free. Oh, you're good. And it's peace that you're feeling, peace that believes in peace that can set us free. And it's 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get it ready, you can let it go. You got to get dialed in, you got to get revved up, you get dialed in. You got to get dialed in, you got to get revved up. So put the pedal to the metal with the gear shift set on God. Set on God. You can make it in your mind. You can make it. Manifest it in your life now. You can make it without trying, cause it's already there. Woo! Already there. Okay, last time, here we go. You ready? And it's God, that you're feeling, God, that you're praying, God, that created us. Ooh, you're getting good. And it's God, that you're feeling, God, that you're praying, God, that created us. And it's 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get it ready, you can let it go. Dialed in, you got to get revved up, you get dialed in. Let's go. You got to get dialed in, you got to get revved up. So put the pedal to the metal with the gear shift set on God. Set on God. So we're going to review now, okay? And it's love. And it's peace. And it's God. Let's do that again. And it's love. And it's peace. And it's God. There you go. And it's done. That's all I got. Thank you very much, you guys. Appreciate you having me here. Thank you, Andy. Amazing player.
Thank you, Dennis Bryan. And thank you, Reverend Kusala, for a wonderful talk on gratitude. Gratitude is probably my favorite spiritual practice. I learned it at this center, and it's very closely related to giving. It was from learning and deeply experiencing gratitude that I learned the importance of giving and that wonderful process of giving and receiving. So I invite you to participate in the law of circulation, giving, receiving, being grateful, and having more to be grateful for. So please join me as we give our prayer before our giving. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love, and so it is.
I am so blessed. I thought I was in the right key. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. For them? No, for them. Wherever you want it. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
So as we come to the close of our service, I am so blessed. I'm feeling very blessed to be here, to be in this space. I'm grateful that this center is here. And what I am knowing is that the many messages that I have received today, as we come together in this idea that there is this life that I am living, we are living. It is the life of God. And I'm expressing that life in so many ways. And as I allow myself to steep in the consciousness and the thinking and the awareness of that oneness of life and that life expressing, that I know that all of the gifts that are given so freely, so completely freely, are flowing to me. The gift of wonderful health, this body and the body of my affairs simply bask in the glowing goodness and givingness that God is. And in this spirit-filled breath, this spirit-filled life, I am creatively expressing every day in ways that amaze me because it's God ordained. It's God moving through me and speaking through me. This is the life that I want to be, how I want to live. And so as I know that all is truly well in this divine spiritual realm, and all the messages of this day are here for me, crafted just for me, and just the way that I hear it the best. I simply know that it is good, it's very good. And I allow and release this word knowing that it's already true and perfect in the mind of God. I simply say yes and agree, and so it is. Are about to rise for our peace song. I'm inviting all of those who are practitioners to step down, and many of them are wearing stoles. They're recognized in that way. They are here for you. And this is an opportunity for you to step into that space for spiritual mind treatment, which is a wonderful way to practice, a wonderful way to be in this notion of gratitude. I am grateful for those that are on the platform and for all of the work they've done today. And it is time for our peace song as we sing.
Let there be peace on earth